hello everyone, in today's video we talk about antihypertensive drug. Anti means against, hyper means high, intensive means tension or pressure. So these are the drugs which works against high blood pressure or high blood tension. So the overview of these drugs are: it decreases the elevated BP, it manages chronic hypertension, and it decreases cardiac workload. Therefore, it will maintain your blood pressure. We have various varieties of antihypertensive agents. So the 6 classification of them are ACE inhibitor, ARBs, beta blockers, calcium channel blocker, diuretic, and digoxin. Sometimes it is very difficult to remember those, but I have a very simple formula to memorize this. So just remember with A, B, C, D. So this is a very simple formula to remember all the antihypertensive agents. So just remember the simple formula of ABCD. So A stands for ACE inhibitors and ARBs. So the alphabet A, mainly it stands for 2 drugs, that is ACE classification of ACE inhibitors and ARBs. Then comes your B alphabet. So with alphabet B, always remember one classification, that is beta blocker. So with this B alphabet, just remember the classification of beta blockers. Same as B, we have next alphabet, that is C. So the alphabet C is for calcium channel blockers. So always remember C with calcium channel blocker. Then we have alphabet D. Alphabet D, it mainly stands for diuretics and digoxin. So D mainly stands for 2 classification of drugs, that is diuretic and digoxin. So without wasting much of the time, let's start with our first class of drug, that is ACE inhibitors. So let's see how it works. So here ACE inhibitors, these are, A stands for Angiotensin-Converting Enzyme. So we have Angiotensin I and Angiotensin II. So Angiotensin I is not able to convert into Angiotensin II with the help of these drugs. So what is the function of Angiotensin II? Angiotensin II mainly work on blood vessel, and it will constrict the blood vessel. When the blood vessel got constricted, your BP get increased. So this is the function of this ACE inhibitors. Angiotensin II also prevents secretion of aldosterone. That means aldosterone, the main function of aldosterone is to hold sodium and water, thus it also increases hypertension. When the ACE inhibitors is given, so no aldosterone is secreted, therefore no retention of water and sodium, and therefore no hypertension. Now the time how to remember these drugs. So very easy to remember with suffix of pril. We have enalapril, ramipril, captopril. So it is easy to remember with the suffix of pril. Then comes your next drug, that is ARBs, that is Angiotensin Receptor Blocker. So the Angiotensin II Receptor Blocker, the work is constrict blood vessels and increase BP. Again, you can remember them with the suffix of sartan. So we have the drugs which is known as candesartan, olmesartan. So it is easy to remember with the suffix of sartan. Then comes the third category of drugs which are known as beta blockers. So beta blockers blocks beta 1 receptor site, and the beta 1 receptor sites, these are mainly present on the sympathetic nervous system. Why beta 1 blocker is needed? It is needed for sympathetic nervous system, and it is mainly responsible for stress. So sometime when we are in stress, what happens? We are in a fight or flight response. So we are not able to make it out whether we need to fight or whether we need to flight. And because of that, our heart rate increases, BP increases, and respiratory rate also increases. So how to remember these drugs? Again, these drugs will have so how the beta blocker work? It will block the mechanism of increasing your heart rate and BP. It will relax your mind, it will decrease the cardiac workload, and it will decrease your heart rate. How to remember them? Just remember them with a suffix of olol, that is labetalol, metoprolol. So it is very easy to remember with a suffix of olol. So whenever you see this olol suffix, that is for beta blockers. Next category of drugs are calcium channel blocker. Calcium mainly helps in the contraction of heart. As you can see in this diagram, also in this picture, the heart is contracting. So calcium helps in the good contraction of heart. How the medication work? This medication will block the calcium, which will help in the relaxation of heart. Therefore, the cardiac workload decreases, oxygen increases, and your vessels relax. How to remember them? We have a ramipril, nifedipine, and diltiazem. So these are the drugs which are the example of calcium channel blocker. Then the next category of drug we have digoxin. Digoxin is also act as a controller of heart. So you can easily remember digoxin act as a controller of heart. Sometime whenever we are giving digoxin, it has to be given with very cautiously, because the uses of it help heart to pump more effectively. It decrease the BP, it will decrease your heart rate also. So whenever you are administering digoxin, always give it very cautiously. And the last category of drugs in this video is diuretics. So how diuretics work in decreasing the BP? It will decrease the fluid, therefore decrease the cardiac overload, and therefore it will decrease your blood pressure. So, and maintain your heart happy. So this is all about for this video. For another video on diuretics, just refer to my channel. Thank you so much.